Dropping gems from Keisha Christian. She's on a mission, sharing information, knowledge for soul, body and mind. Dropping gems, KeishaGems.com. KeishaGems.com.
Welcome to episode 15 of Just Dropping Gems podcast. My name is Keisha Christian, holistic lifestyle coach, author, and owner of Keisha's Gems LLC. This episode is sponsored by Venice Richards, founder and executive producer of Hashtag Pink and Sexy Gala for Sickle Cell. As a sickle cell warrior, it is her passion to find a non-invasive, universal cure for sickle cell and improve the lives of those living with sickle cell on Long Island. Come out and enjoy the Hashtag Pink and Sexy Gala Long Island Fashion Show Fundraiser for Sickle Cell on Saturday, July 27th, 2019 at the Gramercy Ballroom in Rockville Center, Long Island. This year, the Hashtag Pink and Sexy team will honor sickle cell warriors living on Long Island. Want to find out how to support this great cause? Please check the show notes for more information. My guest on this episode, entitled Living Your Passion Mindfully, is Edouard Gilles. He lives by a mission, which is to empower individuals to take holistic approach to life by achieving a whole mind, body, and nutrition. As a motivational speaker and holistic wellness coach, he aims to empower millennials to embark life with a holistic paradigm by sharing personal development principles and wellness counseling to audiences so that various aspects of health can be improved. He serves as the host of the Unlimited Power Show, a personal development show that serves as an educational platform for physical and mental health. Welcome, Edouard. I'm so excited to have you on. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me on your prestigious platform.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I just think it's so important, especially as a young African-American entrepreneur, to be on the path that you are. I have to say I look up to you and I admire you so much for the work that you're doing, and also bringing education and knowledge about the holistic lifestyle, how to live holistically, as well as how to even be healthy on a physical level, as well as on a mental level. And I must say, I love the work you're doing. I admire you, and I really appreciate that you're taking time out today to share space with me and to let my audience know more about you. So I want to know, what exactly led you on this path?
The question I would say is, what path led me to becoming who I am? You know, it was like, I'm really stunned by life and how it works. You start off one way, go in one direction, and then it all works to just kind of like build you up to this person that you're like, who is this guy I'm looking at? So, I mean, I've always been a guy who wanted to become better. I think that's my motto, is just get a little bit better at something. And I love the fact that you have the word passion in the title of this podcast, because that's one of the things that's driven me, is just being a passionate being. You know, I was like an athlete earlier on in my life. I used to see myself as the underdog, you know, trying to become better. So I then applied all of that work ethic, you know, from, you know, going to the courts every day playing basketball, rain or shine, you know, taking the bus, or even running to school earlier to go and like practice for track before I go to school, and then after school to go to track practice. because like I always wanted to like challenge myself and see if I could accomplish this thing. And then that spirit of wanting to be better is just like, it just manifested at different stages of my life in different ways. And I'm just really happy to see and excited to see what that energy will turn in the future. So that, I think that's like the rhetoric of my life, is just expanding through passion.
Oh, well, I like that. You expanded through passion.
Yeah.
Were there any obstacles that led you on this course, or I would say any was there any like hardships that led you to get to or have you to
I
arrive
mean,
where you are now?
I mean, it depends how you look at the word, hardship, because we're all on a ship. It's like the question is, are you gonna look at it as being like a ship that's hard or a ship that's sailing? I mean, I'd say like the waters were rough, like the waters were sometimes a little bit difficult, but it's just part of the weather. So I don't think my life has been like a hardship, but I think it's been, a very good ride. When I was like a kid, even like before I was born, one of the crazy things that happened, I was born in Haiti, like, and I came here when I was 9 to the United States. And like one day my mother woke up and she stepped outside, and it was like a puddle of the blood painting the floor. And, the picture of myself, and it was like almost dying. So I realized that from the beginning of life, like things wasn't always gonna go my way. And even early on, I had a lot of health issues. So I was in the hospital for a long time. I think I had like hernia at some point as a kid. So it was it was like little things that you just overcome. The more you just go through in life, you realize that you just really growing through all those things. And it's like, yeah, but I'm still here. So I just like express a lot of gratitude right now. So it's just, I'm mission driven. One of the things you said in the beginning is like my mission statement. I'm just driven by that mission. So my goal is to accomplish it regardless of the little back steps I have to take, not really setbacks, just the little back steps.
I love what you said when you said you didn't go through it, you grow through it. So it's when you think about the things that we quote unquote go through in life that we might find difficult, we're not going through it, we're growing through it. I love that. That just came to me as you were talking. Um, what exactly do you do? Explain to the audience, what are some things that you actually do as far as living this holistic lifestyle that I love to talk about on this podcast?
One of the major things that I do is being mindful. It's like, think about if you were an avatar, instead of you being in a blue body, being in this vast, beautiful, mystical land, speaking a different language and being underneath shining trees. Imagine if you like yourself was an avatar, right? Your body is your avatar, and your spirit is, not in a cube somewhere, but it's maybe in the realm of possibilities. Your spirit is like what's guiding your body. What if you had access to being that spirit and not just the avatar? What if you could actually guard your body, your mind, your thoughts, and interact in an environment in a woke-like state? A lot of people say I'm woke, but are you really woke? So what I think holistic, like the first thing of holistic starts with the mind. Number one thing has to be the mind. So what I like to do sometimes is stand outside myself and look into myself and see what I'm doing. And because I can do that, I'm able to see a lot of things about myself and the different maneuvers that I have to do, this internal shift to just be a better human being, a better contributor to the world. And I think that's like the first component. A lot of times when you think holistic paradigm, so I'm a holistic fitness wellness coach, I call myself. Right? Reason why I say that is I take a whole approach. First thing, you have to look at your mindset. How do you see things? What is your paradigm, your vision of what the world looks like? Second, look at your body. How are you treating it? How is it communicating to you? You know, a lot of times we think that we only have communication in our heads, and in reality, we have communication with our bodies. So looking at that, are you feeling really tired? Is your gut, what's happening in your gut area? That's actually the second brain. You know, they call the gut the second brain.
Some
So
people
that's,
believe it's the first.
you know, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy what goes down there. You know, your gut is just, it's amazing. We'll probably get into that a little bit later. But yeah, so how do you know that all of these components exist, and how do you constantly shift to match the story that you're telling yourself? So mindset is first, because first you have to have the right story of what holistic means to you. So if you don't have that story, and if it's not backed up by facts, if it's not backed up by um some, you know, to make sure that you're not following a script that you've just been doing over and over, if you want to make sure it's legit, that is in your best interest. And then every day, every week, every month, your goal is to then make sure that you're living up to that story. So you shift that story, you could shift your life. And then every time you look at the mirror and you're not matching this image that you said of yourself, as far as the habits and rituals that you have, the way that you treat your body, your level of awareness, do you go out and exercise, like those little things, then you know you need to make some modifications, and then you could kind of like go back, look in the mirror, look at the whole person, and then go back and fix the pieces. Go back in the mirror, look at the whole person, and go and fix the pieces. And then, you know, that's how you like constantly staying in your wholeness, even though your life get in a mess at times.
You mentioned something about you step outside yourself and you look at yourself.
Yes.
Can you really can you go more into depth in explaining that to someone who may not understand exactly what that means?
Yes. So there is this concept that we have two people inside of us, right? Is the other self. Now, think about yourself. Sometimes you might be sitting with yourself, and then you're talking to your friend, you're having a good conversation. You'd be like, yo, did you see the game last night? Then you just say something completely left. Then you're like, whoa, I can't believe I just said that. It's like, who's the I that you can't believe just said it? Or at the same time, the other day I was watching the game, and there was like, Stephen Curry has not been here. He's not here. It's as if Stephen Curry, his body was here, but his true self was not there. So when you look at these things, it means that us, the person we think we are now, may not exist in 5-10 years, because, you know, our spirit evolved. So when you step outside yourself and look into yourself, it means that you could, it's a level of awakeness. It's like you could see yourself. So there's the ego self, I call it, the selfish self, and then you have the higher self, I call it your true self. And that self is the self that, like, that is forgiving, loving, you know, like, I want new experiences, I want to create, I want to contribute, I want to help people. That's your true self. And then you have your egoist stuff, your personality self, which is like, oh, I want to get mine. I want to make money. I want to get a nice apartment. I want to have a beautiful girl. Like, this is what I want. So when you step outside yourself, you're able to tap into, I would say, the universe soul. I call it the universe soul, as in soul. And then you're able to see what you're doing in your daily life. What are you saying? Am I acting out of ego here? Or, you know, am I, you know, just playing tricks on myself? And a lot of times I do it mentally, where I'm like, yo, okay, you're just a little anxious right now. You could calm down. Okay, you're just anxious right now. Or you're just a little fearful. So I'm literally, it's like I'm communicating to myself, and I'm not a crazy person.
I see. So for the layman, how can one do that exactly?
You said, how can you do it?
If for the layperson, someone who's not well versed in these concepts, how can they do that?
Okay, so the first thing we would start with is, I would say, is you have to know yourself. There's a process of self-discovery that you have to embark on before you can really know yourself, right? So it's almost like there's a self you have to discover. And, I'm not trying to go left, but it's like there's someone in you that you have not discovered yet or have not listened to. So the first step is self-discovery. Now, how do you discover yourself? The first thing you have to do is uncover who you already are. It's like you're not going out and creating something that you didn't know exist yet. So it's like taking the sheet off yourself, off the person that you are. And how do you do that? You start to uncover the layers of resistance by letting go your past ideals. So the first thing you have to do is like peel the orange so you could see the fruit. And that's yourself. You have to start to look at yourself and see, oh, am I really a free thinking being? Or am I just living to the script that I've learned my whole life? And sometimes you even have to analyze, oh, I might not even live in my script right now. I might listen to what Ed is saying and turning it into my reality. So that's uncovering you by, that's discovering you by uncovering all the layers that society has placed on you. So if they told you eat this certain way, chances are you need to discover the best way of eating, because most likely the masses are not going in the best direction. If they are telling you you need to do this type of exercise, well, research what do you have to do for your internal exercise. So, which is the second step to actually being in tune with yourself. You have to listen to yourself by listening to nature, which is what meditation is kind of like. Which is like what I teach is like medical qigong. How do you quiet the mind so that you can hear the person that you are? So then you start to apply some of the other healthy habits and rituals to then bring it into practicality, everyday steps that you can start to do, like exercise, meditate. Journaling is the one big thing, and some other things.
Oh, nice. So this sounds like, to me, if I wanted to put this into simpler terms, basically you are reflecting. So you're really going within deep and really looking within yourself.
Yes, exactly. And it may take a while to do that. You probably won't be able to do it all in one day.
Yeah, I can see that. And what I'm thinking too, some ways that one could do this is probably even going on a retreat, finding
Yeah.
some sort of retreat, because we definitely need to create circles around us. And when I say circle, I'm talking about a group of people who are similar minded, who are on that on a similar or same journey as yourself.
Okay. So I think this is a segment where I should more like practical things that you can do to raise your frequency. Would this be the question that you would say? That way you could listen to yourself and be more in tune, be more mindful.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so I'll tell you a personal story of mine. Like there was a time where I used to train a client every day on the beach. And there used to be this guy that comes every day and he's teaching Tai Chi on the beach. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? Every day I'm like, hey, teach Tai Chi. Like, we got to talk sometime. We got to talk. We got to talk. His name is Dr. George Xavier Love. He's actually my teacher. And, I always saw this guy, but I was always working. And my negative beliefs was like, what is he doing? Like, what is that? The exercises look, very, it was different. It was unique. My different belief systems at the time didn't know what that was. So I couldn't be curious. So I had to let go of that layer and be curious. So to make a long story short, I ended up interviewing him. And then there was a time where I spent with him, like for 30 days. And I believe it's a great formula of literally really going on a great spiritual awakening. First thing you have to do is look what goes into your body. For about 30 days, try to go on a very clean diet where you're eating mostly fruits and vegetables, right? So you're literally going on a vegetarian diet, coupled with juice feasting, meditation, and you're just spending a lot of time for reflection and spending time with people you love. So you're not really focused so much on working. Social media, you're not going to go on social media. This is all the things that I kind of done, and it was one of the I've gotten so many nuggets from the universe by doing that for a month. So every morning when you wake up, you're going to have a set ritual. So I'd recommend you wake up earlier, like at 4 a.m. or something. That's what I like to do because it's so quiet.
Ancestral hours, actually.
Yes, actually, at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. when you go outside, the trees are giving oxygen. So the air outside in the morning is like fresh. It's like fresh air. It's literally like mountain air in the morning. So the lungs are saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. So your heart is just saying, I'm very caressed here by this oxygen. So when you wake up in the morning, that's one of the major things you're gonna do is you want to oxygenate the blood. There's a couple ways you could do that through breathing, and then there's also through drinking water, alkalized water. Like I like lemon and cucumber, my basic drink. I do that in the morning, and then.
Ooh, you got my you got my water recipe.
Yes, I know you told me that earlier, and I was like, oh, she got the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like I love doing that. Sometimes I put turmeric in it, and ginger at times. So when you do that, it's great. You're literally alkalizing, and then you take a cold shower. Now, I used to be timid. Like I'm like, I don't want to drink. Only showers for ladies. Hot showers. You ladies. I don't know how you do it, but it'd be steaming hot. But you should take a cold shower. That way your pores are opened up, your senses are just alert, and you're just ready to go. But then at this time, you're still not doing nothing yet. What you're doing is you're focusing on your mind, investing into it, like putting food into your mind. So at that time, I like to then wake up and I read my affirmations and I have a vision statement. And what I'm doing is I'm painting a picture of the future because you want to let your future pull you through the days because other days are not going to be fun. And then I have affirmations. You say affirmations. And then you listen to something motivational. And then you go and you meditate. Now you just started your day. That you just had a whole ritual. And then you do that every day for 30 days while eating a clean diet, meditating throughout the day, spending time with people you love, reading books, and not working so much. And then, like, for instance, retreats. I mean, if you could have your own retreats with people that you care about and love, that I happen to have a retreat every day because of the classes that was going on at the time. But I think that's a time where you could really be able to get your answers, even like through dreaming. You get a lot of downloads. That happened to me.
I understand. I see that too with myself. As I would say, I was going through my awakening. Definitely. So with the rituals, that's something I even do myself, and I actually even talk about that in my books. When you talk about the foods, why is it so important to actually what you call it a vegetarian diet, eating clean? Why is that important?
Okay. Can you hear me? Yes. So in Chinese medicine, there's the basis of it, which is Eastern medicine. I study that a lot. And it's about qi, the flowing of your qi. And you want to feed yourself at the molecular level. We have a lot of empty calories. Like I like to say, don't put your salad down my throat. What I mean by that is people's words can be empty. The stuff that we watch can be empty. And what we eat most of the time can be empty because of the nutritional value that's in it. So when you look at your food, if you're like, oh, this is nutrition, yes, I'm about to nourish my cells. Or like, oh, this is broccoli, this is what it got in it. Oh, these are carrots. Think about what my eyes are gonna have, what's gonna happen to my eyes. When you're thinking of the food as, oh, this is medicine, nourishment, then you're eating it for nourishment. So then you nourish your body actually. So it's the mentality behind it, because I don't want to tell you go eat fruits and vegetables. I'm sure you could hear all of the things about the different fruits and the different veggies you need to eat, but you won't eat them. That's why I want you to understand the mindset behind it. So when you look at your food as nutrition, as medicine, you're not going to buy medicine from anywhere. Like, you don't go to a strip club and be like, let me get an Advil. You want to go to the pharmacy and get yourself Advil. Just at the same time, you don't want to go to, like, the butcher shop every day to get you medicine, that you didn't know that you needed, that you didn't know was medicine. So that's why you have to add more vegetables, because that's like going to nature's pharmacy, the pharmacy of the roads of the street. That's is the true street pharmacist is nature's pharmacist. So understanding that then forces you to know that you must then now add greens in your diet, because this is these are medicine. So then it is then, okay, perfect. Now I know I really need to eat greens. Why? Because these are where my vitamins and minerals are going to be. These are the fruits that actually resemble my internal organs and have direct impact to them based on the different ingredients that I'm eating from those fruits and those veggies. So if I don't eat them, I am actually hurting myself, not giving myself the right medicine that I need to prosper. So then it's not like, do you need to become a vegetarian? No, just be mindful. Are you getting enough medicine?
So it's like eating with a purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's preventive healthcare, making sure that you don't get hurt because you wasn't mindful of what you was eating every day. So I mean, I do that a lot, and sometimes I would go out and I would buy like a piece of cake, and I would I know what I'm doing to myself, but then I'm like, okay, it's cool. I'm a human being. I can eat me a piece of cake, or I may even, like, it may not, but it's just like, okay, what are you doing? Do you know that you're doing it? Because then tomorrow you do it again, the next day you do it again, the fourth and fifth day you do it again, but you're not recognizing it. I always say that people don't need any more advice on how to lose weight or what to eat. They just need to start to build the right principles, mindset, so that they could reset their lives, so that when they stop eating vegetables, they know how to get back into it and overcome the emotions that's stirring up, that's actually not leading to more disease in your physical body, but then preventing you from making the healthy choices that you know you ought to make. So that's like the next thing is like emotions is like the major cause of people not really eating well or getting sick.
So as a holistic wellness coach, how would you handle, or how have you dealt with clients who might have been or are emotional eaters? How would you handle that?
Okay, so emotional eating is an epidemic. I was looking at TV, you know. I know, Keisha, you don't watch TV, right?
No.
But I was looking at the TV because it's game time. Tonight is the game. And there was a commercial that came on, and it was like, they're not sad. Look at these people watching this movie. They're not sad because they're not eating ice cream because they're sad. They're sad because they're eating bad ice cream. And when I saw that movie, my heart just blew drop, and I was like, yo, the media knows what's happening, and they're using it to mind trick us and then sell us the same thing that's hurting us. So we live in emotional states. Something bad happens, we respond to it. We're response creatures. Somebody crosses you on the highway and you get really mad and you're like, I'm hungry now. Like, so you get heated up, your emotions are risen, and you just going through a whole day mad, angry. You hurting yourself. You get uptight. Your butt get tight. Become a pain in the butt. Because, anger means,
Literally.
yeah, exactly. Because anger gets stored there in the rear end. So then you're like, what's happening? So we're living in all these emotional states. We're already stressed out by work, by our normal days, by everything. So stress is already killing our butts. And then add to that, we have trauma. Yesterday I was watching a TV show, like it was called When They See Us. And I was watching it, all of a sudden I was so tense and so angry at the criminal law system. And I was like, wow, I can't believe that that's how they get innocent Black kids in the jail system. And I was pissed. So why am I telling you all these stories? To make you understand that our day-to-days really affect our emotions. What if you could know what emotional states you're going in and then train your brain to switch those emotions to a positive emotion rather than a negative one? What if that you were able to train your mind to do that by listening to the mental cues that you give yourself every day? The physical cues, feeling what's tight, So if you knew that you were sad because this person today was really acting like, okay, you really don't care about me. You were supposed to pick me up. You were supposed to go on a dinner date. You didn't come. So you know you were sad. You stepped outside yourself and looked into yourself. So now you know you're sad. You walk home, you're like, okay, maybe I am sad. But should I really let this person control? Now you're monitoring your inner conversation. And then you're like, no, I am in control of my state. Now you want to do something that snaps you out of that state. There's two things you can do. You could distract yourself, or you could attract yourself with something desirable. Distractions are things we do unconsciously. Things we attract are things that we do through either our intuition, the law of attraction, or through intention, the law of seeking for it, going for it. So then you can now attract positive emotions, positive things that make you happier. Maybe if you did have a kid, you could spend time with your kid. And you could, if you like working out, you could go and you could do that. That's an intention to, get your mind right by getting your body right. If you like to do something pleasant, you go do it. But then if you just unconsciously wander around, then exactly what's going to happen? You're going to go to the fridge, you're going to eat. And now because you're not mindful that food is nutrition, which is why holistic that's what I'm calling it, is a combination of everything. So if you're not mindful that food is nutrition, then when you go to the fridge, you're just going to eat everything. So now the major distraction that takes away our intention is drugs, alcohol, and other things like that. So when you're underneath the influence, you can no longer really truly influence yourself willingly to do the things that you want to do. So then sometimes that's when you feel a little bit less acclaimed to make the right choice. So then, eating a lot, then you will do. So then it's knowing that if you're going to partake in those activities like drinking, I'm not telling you not to, but then be mindful of why it's happening, what led to it, what emotions you're feeling, and how that's correlating with what you're eating. And then you'll be able to just be woke that, oh, this is really happening. And if you let it happen one day, you was like, you know what? I'm really, really sad. I'm going to let it happen. Plus, I can enjoy some ice cream today. I've been on my healthy plane this whole week, this whole month. I can make it happen. Then you're mindful. The worst thing is not emotional eating. It's unaware emotional eating.
So that brings us back to the point number one you just said. Everything encompasses mindfulness. Do everything with intent.
Exactly.
If you want to eat that ice cream, you go ahead, but just be mindful of what it's going to do to your body. I got it. That's really good, especially when dealing with your clients. So just walking in, looking at the refrigerator, if you want to eat that cake, just know what's going to happen after you eat that cake. You're not telling them not to do it.
Exactly. It's like you go to your doctor and your doctor says, okay, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat that. When you was a kid and your parents say, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, what do you go do?
You do it anyway.
You're like, yeah, I'm going to show you. But what if you went to your doctor and said, do this, do that, and do this, you live. You could do anything else. It's up to you. But if you do that, this is your faith. You choose. You're like, I gotta think here. You got a point. I think that life is our doctor. There's a duality in life, and it gives you the choice to choose. The question is, what are you gonna choose?
I'm thinking of the Matrix, the red pill or the blue pill.
Yes, is the red pill or the blue pill?
Yeah, that's what made me think of that when you said that we have a choice to make. What are you going to choose?
You know, blue is the color of the Buddha, the medicine Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, red usually signifies the devil, right? So what do you think about like medicine, blue and red, the duality of those two things is just like you got to make that choice.
That's interesting. Do you know anything about the chakra system? I know I didn't ask you about that, but I was just curious because you made a point. It's like being a pain in the butt. So
Oh,
it is.
yeah, we can talk about the shin, the jin, and the chi. We could talk about that. No, it's not necessarily gonna go to all the different chakras, but we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah, because I was just thinking when we talk about the root chakra,
Uh-huh.
basically that's where you have your emotions. So when you even talked about being a pain in the butt or being angry, that is more so your lower self. So
Yeah.
I just when I made that connection when you said that, I was like, oh, I didn't even think of it like that. You know what I mean? And you're correlating that with what you're talking about traditional Chinese medicine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So even with that is we hold a lot of different emotions in different part of our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So so there's a lot of correlation between what's going in the physiology versus what's going on in the psychology. So
Mm-hmm.
if you look at your shoulders, and you know, I don't know if we're going to talk about medical qigong. Your shoulders are can be uptight because you're stressed, right? You hold a lot of anxiety right there in your shoulders.
Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so your hamstrings is another part. You know, a lot of times we have tight hamstrings. In fitness, a lot of clients come in and they just have really, really tight hamstrings, and because they have a lot of fear, right? So all of these things are actually stuck in our physiology and we don't realize it. So in Chinese medicine, through Qigong, we separate the torso into three parts. So we have the Shin, we have the Qi, and we have the Jing.
Mm-hmm.
So the Shin is the upper part of our body, right? So you would place your hand, I would say, on your forehead. And we call that the spirit mind. So that's the mind and the will, you know. So this is where everything from cognition to consciousness and your emotional life. This is where your presence resides. You know, everything at the from the temple up, that's your Shin. So that's your divine nature. And then we have, if you place your hand on your belly button, then you have the heart mind, the life force energy. Right now, there's a lot of talk about the gut microbiome and how this is the second brain. And you said that was the first brain.
Yes, some people consider it to be the first brain.
Right. So right above that, you know, when you at your heart mind, which is kind of like right above the belly, that's your life force, your energy. So that's where all your healing energy that kind of like radiates throughout the body is. That's where also your human nature is.
The solar plexus.
Yes, right up, yeah, right over the solar plexus. And we could talk, yeah, how
Mm-hmm.
breathing actually pushes all that up. Then you have the last part, which is the Jing, the lower part, which is the body mind,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of us we think with our bodies. You know what I mean? I would say a lot of, you know, guys think with their bodies a lot. We go based on hormones and we operate off animal nature, like dogs in heat, right? But if we
Sacral
operated
chakra.
exactly, so if we operated more with our, you know, our chi, our life force energy, then you know I think the world would be a much better place because we would be able to share emotions like gratitude, compassion, healing each other instead of hurting each other. You know what I mean? And even when you look at the jing, the lower part, the body mind, for a lot of women, there's a lot of association between, you know, the food that you're intaking, right? And that of then affecting your reproductive system.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like if we don't really start to understand these correlations between our bodies, then you just won't know what's happening. So it's like you have to follow people like you, like Keisha, you have to follow people like me, you have to follow holistic doctors, and you have to just be on top of your information so that way you can understand, you know, what's going on within your body. So, you know, I practice something called medical Qigong, which literally coordinates and purifies the Shin, the Qi, and the Jing. And Qigong is a form of Chinese medicine, Tai Chi, right? So Qi, when you think about Qi, that's your life force.
Life force
Like I said,
energy.
life force energy. I said it. That was like your Qi in the middle is your heart mind.
Mm-hmm.
So your Qi, let's say it's your essence, your breath, your life. Qi has so many meanings. Gong means the mastery of your Qi. So the mastery of your life force. Now, how does your Qi circulate throughout the body? We have these things called acupuncture meridians in Chinese medicine. And acupuncture meridians are basically if you look at the whole Western medicine today, like we're treating symptoms. You get sick, you have a headache. Oh, let's try to stop this headache. Now, in Chinese medicine, in Eastern philosophy, they look at it, oh, you're getting sick here. Where is the flow of your chi that's stagnant in what area? And how can we help you maneuver that chi to help that stagnation, get rid of that stagnation and let that chi flow effectively? So your meridians is basically a web, you know, that's circulating that chi, that life force throughout your entire body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we think about chi, the best way we could literally check it in the physical body besides the meridians is the actual blood flow. So when we're doing qigong, what we're doing is we are super oxygenating the blood, because then we're bringing in oxygen and we're bringing in nitrogen and wait, my bad. I said oxygen and hydrogen. And then as we bring those in, we're exhaling out and we're keeping some of that oxygen in the blood. So when we're doing Qigong, when we're breathing in and out, and we're doing rotational joint movements that can be like, some of the things that we're doing is like they're very, I don't know, I can't really tell you how they look. You'd have to see it. But they're rotational movements. Now, these rotational movements, you might be doing an exercise, reaching down, touching your toes, going up. At the same time, while you're breathing, you're actually going in direction of stretching a muscle, which underneath it lies a vein, which underneath that lies a meridian, and then you're flowing that energy as you do these movements. So you're directing your life force energy throughout your body. You are flowing your chi effectively. Another way you do that is through acupuncture. So acupuncture is like if you ever went to a doctor and then they put needles in you,
Mm-hmm.
that's acupuncture. So that's basically another way of moving your chi, circulating the chi much better. But qigong is acupuncture through exercise and breathing. So that's why I usually tell, okay, you want to align your chakras, you want to align your life, you want to go on a different journey, then let's help your chi flow much better. You know, let's start with that.
Hmm. I was going to ask you about acupuncture, but you went there with me because I was going to ask you how to move, and thinking the stagnation is as a Reiki master, and also one of the things I do is like I could actually feel within the chakra if you have blockages. as I'm giving the as I'm doing the session. So I'm not touching the person as an acupuncture, the needles physically touch, but through my hands I'm able to feel the blockage and to try to remove that blockage within the certain chakra system. So that is like so interesting.
Well, I mean, in Reiki, the key is I would say like the chi of the right. Would that be?
Mm-hmm.
So they've actually proven that hand healing with your hands is actually proven to be a true and a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not just this mystical thing, because they found out that we are actually vibrations and frequencies. Now, there's this doctor, I was watching one of his videos. Hopefully, I have to send you the link. You take a look at it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that in the field, they say that matter in itself is a wrap. It's like a wrapped of space, and that it's a frequency of sound, and that the earth, the globe, literally shapes that energy, so that energy is flowing and moving. Nothing is really still. So our body itself is the same way, and as we get our chi level up, we raise our frequency and vibration through something like qigong. You start to feel certain heat going out your hand, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that energy, it's like it's heat. So right now, my chi is high. I don't know why, but it is. But sometimes, like, I would finish doing the exercises, and I put my hand over my feet, and I feel like it's just really hot, right? Because your frequency, your energy is going towards the palm of the hand. So
Yes.
being that we ourselves operating at different frequencies, it's like instead of giving somebody a scan for cancer, you're giving them the natural scan to regenerate and do the natural way of like fixing up a unbalanced chi with your hands. And it's so cool. And I would like to dedicate my life to really learning this stuff. And I think I'm on that journey now by interviewing people and learning about it. So it's just amazing stuff. So
It truly is amazing. Even when people tell me, I'm still fascinated by this, and people tell me, they've been healed or I made them feel so much better. And I have to say, that wasn't me. I feel like it's not me doing this, you know? It's that higher, whatever I call myself, I'm a vessel. As I look at myself, I'm a vessel. I'm here to serve on this earthly plane. So I feel as though it's that energy moving through me is doing that. Do you,
exactly.
do you ever feel that way? When people say it's you, I don't feel like it's me per se.
You are like communicating to my other self,
Mm-hmm.
because I say that all the time. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm wondering, yo, this is really what you want to do. Like, on some real stuff, like, you have this mission is really like, this is what you really want to do. You really want to just like help raise consciousness of the world through media and through speaking and hopefully write and soon to be writing. And you're like, this is what you're going to be doing. Like, and it's like, wait, what do you want to do this? I thought we just wanted to make money. Like, we were in this in the beginning. It was like entrepreneurship. It was not about like health. When I was in high school, it was like, oh, how can I start a business? And then it became for purpose. And a lot of times I have these little ambitions to go out and do something and help somebody. And I'm like, why do I want to do this? So I'm like normally I would want to go, and I'm speaking because there's a human self and there's a true self. I'm speaking like I would want to just get mines. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I think there's a point of no return when if you've been chosen or you chose yourself to be greater, to do something more. Once you've making that decision or something made that decision before you were born, it's either you live with the agony of ignoring the voice, or you live with the symphony of being in tune with the universe and like being the vessel. and like letting that flow through you, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just like part of this big energy blob, and I'm just like, oh, I actually got chose to distribute this much energy. I'm just gonna do it. But then I realized, okay, there's also a personality here, so I have to make sure that dude don't get in the way. So,
Yeah.
so that's how I look at it.
It's amazing how you figured that out at such a young age. You really saved yourself some heartache. But then again, if you were to go through that quote unquote heartache, it would have been for your growth anyway. So either
Well,
or.
well, well, I didn't save myself some heartache. Some heartache saved me, and heartaches are making and building and molding me, and I'm growing through them. So I don't think I saved myself through that, because I've went through some heartaches, but I guess the learning curve, the more you go through, you grow through, the faster your growth. The more you grow through, the faster your growth.
Mm-hmm.
So if in the middle of things I was just blaming everything, I didn't say, okay, I have to work on it now. I have to say, I have to go read this. I have to go learn how to become better. I have to be more in tune, find the right resource. Okay, I gotta do that. I gotta do that. If it didn't initiate me to act, then a lot of things I wouldn't have learned or learning or doing. It's like I said, it's a matter of just giving into it.
Hmm. So you surrendered.
Yeah, pretty much.
But this is why I say I admire you, because you're doing this at a young age. I don't know how old you are. I'm getting you're in your 20s. That's why I'm saying that.
I'm 24.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting that. Yeah, I'm much older than that. So that's why I'm getting that from you. I'm getting you really like figured this out, and that's what I admire about you. Because you have some young people, they're not doing this. You know what I mean? They're looking to have a good time and to live their life, and but
Yeah.
you're looking at getting on a, I would say, a more higher plane and a higher frequency, and bringing others with you to experience that and to live a much better life and a happier life, which I think is beautiful.
My soul is bothered by mediocrity and selfish desires. Like, if I don't feel purpose, if I don't feel something like pulling me forward, I just don't want to do it. I'm
Mm.
just like, I don't want to put my time towards it. And I've denied a lot of opportunities because I'm just like, I know I can, I know how to do this. I'm smart. Like, I think I could be working for a corporation had I wanted to, like I could have done it, but I just always like, this is not my calling. And I want to direct this to people like me who's 24, 21, 20. There are some things that you're urged to do now that you are suited to do now because there's somebody that needs you to do it now rather than later.
Mm.
Like, because listen, maybe I could have had it all for me now, right? And start a nice business. Because there was times I sat down and I have some great ideas. And I really want to start them, but something keeps telling me, like you said earlier, it's not now. Like, you have a different thing to do right now. Because there's a kid that won't listen to the 40 to 35-year-old you. Like, but there's a kid that will listen to the 24-year-old you, even though the
Yes.
24-year-old you is not the 35-year-old wise man yet. But some kid need to hear you now because they might not be there at 35. So the way I'm looking at it is I'm trying to fill the gap between who I already am and, the kid who needs me. So like every day I'm trying to get out of the way so I can do that. And I do it in whatever way that I can with the resources I have, even if it's be a camera and a microphone.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's beautiful. Well, Edward, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. And I thank you so much for coming on this episode of Dropping Gems podcast. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience? Also, your how to contact you. I'm going to put that in the show notes as well. So, is anything else you would like to share with us?
Well, first of all, like I would like to let you know that you have the unlimited power in you to do whatever you want, to, excel to the level you want, the level of consciousness, whatever you're trying to do, it's possible. And, me and Keisha, we're both doing it. We're growing. We're getting to where we want to be. And that's possible for you and everyone listening around the world. But it starts with belief. Like, I just believe all of these things. And in believing it, I already am. And when you believe it, it will happen. Or you could just let the world miss out on you, all the good stuff you got. You could keep it to yourself and be selfish. It's your choice. But I try to put that out as much as I can. Sometimes it's my voice, it's a show, it's a video. And if you go to my website, my social media at CEO Ambitionist, all across all the different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, CEO Ambitionist. I call myself the Chief Executive Officer of my destiny. So you go ahead and you follow that. You follow all my platforms right there. And I have a podcast called Ed Talks Personal Growth and Motivation. You can check that one out. And
which I'm going to be on as well. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yes, so the link will be there. And the last thing is for holistic coaching, flexholistic.co. And there you find some more information. And most of all, if you just want to reach out to me. And that's it.
Yes. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on. Just Dropping Gems podcast. And I'll speak to you and I'll see you in another episode. Blessings to you.
Blessings.
Thank you so much for listening to Just Dropping Gems podcast. This episode is sponsored by Venice Richards, founder and executive producer of the #Pink and Sexy Gala for Sickle Cell. As a sickle cell warrior, it is her passion to find a non-invasive universal cure for sickle cell and improve the lives of those living with sickle cell on Long Island. Come out and enjoy the #Pink and Sexy Gala Long Island Fashion Show fundraiser for sickle cell on Saturday, July 27th, 2019 at the Gramercy Ballroom in Rockville Center, Long Island. This year, the #Pink and Sexy team will honor sickle cell warriors living on Long Island. Want to find out how to support this great cause? Please check the show notes for more information. It is also sponsored by Keisha's Gems and Dropping Gems Publishing. Be sure to visit our website where we offer holistic solutions with the soul in mind. And check out my new books, Healthy Gems, Nourishing Practices and Self-Care Tips for Busy Individuals, and Holistic Gems, How to Treat Seasonal and Year-Long Allergies Naturally, available on Amazon, or purchase an autographed copy on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at droppinggems.com. That's DROPPINGGEMZ.com. If you're interested in being a sponsor or advertising on this podcast, you can contact us at keishasgems.com. That's www.keishagemz.com, or email us at keishagems@gmail.com. Much abundance to you. Peace and blessings.